Today you're going to be glazing your small pinch pot animal. I have begun with this and I have one layer of blush and one layer of violet. I need to begin a second layer. So I'm going to scrape the remaining violet back into this container and then use the water just to get whatever's left off and pinch it out. You don't need water in the glaze. It'll just make it more thin. So now I'm going back to my blush and I'm making a second layer of blush. These colors look very similar right now. It's almost hard to tell the difference between where I have the blush and where I have the violet. So you have to pay really close attention to what you're doing when you're using glaze, because you have to remember how many layers and what colors go where. So this is blush, this is violet, 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 violet. After I bake it again, it's gonna look very different. This is blush and this is violet. This is 2 layers of violet, where this is 1. And you can see how when it's thin, I don't think it looks as nice. So if you want it to look good, you got to keep up with your counting of layers and do 2 or 3. Possibly one very thick one could work. Okay, so I did my second layer of blush. I'm going to scrape that out, rinse it, pinch it, and work on a second layer of violet. Now, I think I want some polka dots on my bird. And so you can add, you can't mix glaze together. Like you can't take red and yellow glaze and mix it up and expect it to be orange. But you can do some layering, especially if you're putting a dark color on top of a light color. So like this guy, these black polka dots on top of the gray looks awesome. Black polka dots on top of here. I could do that with another dark color too. But I'm gonna do, I think, black polka dots on this guy. Also, if you want something to be white, you're gonna wanna actually glaze it white so that it ends up shiny like everything else. I think I'm gonna switch over to a small brush for my polka dots. I've got an example to my left of a piece of pottery that can use another layer or 2. So this is violet, but it's a very thin layer. This is blush, a very thin layer. So this person probably should have gone back over with 1 or 2 more layers. So just keep that in mind as you're working. The only thing you don't want to glaze is the bottom. So the part that touches the table will also touch the shelf of the kiln. And glaze is liquid glass. So when it melts in the kiln, it'll melt to the kiln shelf. And then I'll have to use a hammer and get your piece broken up so I can vacuum it out. You will not get it back. So please don't glaze the very bottom. Whatever part would touch the table, don't put glaze there. And if it accidentally gets there, we can wipe it off with a sponge. I'm trying to decide what color I want the eyes. I think I'll maybe glaze them white and do some tiny black toothpick dots in there. All right, have fun glazing your animals.